Alright guys, it is the next day. It's probably, 3/4 of the way through the day. I had a lot of stuff to do and really couldn't get out here, and honestly I wasn't going to start doing really anything until Dad got ready to help and all that stuff, and he's got a wedding today, so I just couldn't resist. I came out here and kind of just wanted to go through it and see exactly what I'm up against, and I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I mean, it's still a whole lot of work, but it's not awful. Obviously the trailer needs a ton of work. It's basically these wings right here need to be completely replaced. I'm just going to cut those off, grind them, re-weld on some new tin or some stock right there. The rest of it is actually in pretty decent shape. May have to do something with the tongue. It looks like it's been kind of rigged on here, and it's kind of, if you look at it, it's kind of angled up. That may need to be fixed. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. But like I said, that'll be kind of, when we get to the trailer, we'll attack that problem if we need to. But it's just like it's a white Glastron trailer that's been painted black, and I'm just going to take it over and have it completely soda blasted, and basically back down to bare metal. We're going to keep the center line rims, just going to replace the tires. So that's the trailer. Let's move on to other things. The engine, it's in the back of the truck here. Complete total loss. The only thing I think I can probably save off of it is going to be the bell housing. I'll go have the starter tested. We'll have the motor mounts I'll be able to save. All the wiring is probably going to be okay. Of course the hoses, they all look perfectly fine. They're all nice, soft and supple, no problems. Pulleys, but the carburetor, manifold, engine, it's all gone. If you look on this side over here, you can see that the engine it was cracked from freeze damage, and it's rusted through and all that kind of good stuff. So it's gone. And then whoever did the alternator, they had to put the washer too close to it, and it damaged the fins on the alternator. So for the most part, it's gone. There's going to be little parts here and there. The only other thing that I'm not sure about is this Thunderbolt ignition. So how do you test it? Do you just put it on the new engine and pray to God that it works? Because obviously I don't want to have to buy one. It's going to be kind of expensive, but we will if we have to. But I guess it's something I got to kind of research and figure out how in the world we're going to test that, and if it's testable at all until we get the new engine. By the way, we're going to put in a crate engine in this thing. It's going to be a 350, probably just a little bit hotter cam, nothing super fancy. This boat does not need too powerful of stuff to run it down the lake. It's nice, small, and light. So that's the engine. Oh, here's the cover in the back, and it needs a lot of work. This gel coat is popped off of it. I'm gonna have to make some stuff and sand it down, and then I'm probably just gonna shoot this black. I'm not quite sure exactly how we're gonna do this yet. I'm not, it's one of those things. It's too early in the game to really know. But we got some good Carlson symbols here that I got to restore, and I've done that in the past. Just cut them off and then paint them, and then use some silver paint to go over the Carlson emblem. And then there's some of the interior right there. The outdrive supposedly is good. It's up underneath there. We'll run a pressure test on it and make sure that it's okay. Okay, what else? Oh, look at that shiny spot. Actually, I don't think we're going to have to paint this boat. I set it here for about 15-20 minutes with my buffer, and check it out. Look at that. Just like glass. I mean, this is smooth. I took my 1500 grit sandpaper and then used my polishing technique just like I did on my other one, and there's no metal flake coming off of it. So whatever it was just strictly right on the surface. And if you look over here, you can get the same. This is kind of hard. The gray is kind of hard to get the shiny, but also look down here. This is nice and shiny too. Look at that. So it looks like all we're going to replace is the pinstriping. I'll get a template made and have my sign shop make up the CVX-18 sticker that we're going to take off here, and then we're just going to basically buff the heck out of this boat. And I think it'll come out beautiful. There is 2 or 3 little nicks. There's one right here, and I'll just mix up some black gel coat and we'll just kind of blend that in and see how we can make that look. There's a couple little pinholes where things have kind of hit it that we can basically fill and make look really good. Let me see, there's another one right here. We'll just kind of putty that one in, and then right here. Those are the only little 4 or 5 spots that I've found. Of course, replace all the pinstriping. Down below, this actually is pretty shiny. It needs a wet sand and a buffing, but it's not near as bad. It's got some mud on here, but it's got
Couple little scratches. You see that right there, little squiggly, but nice thing is that's right on top. I can barely get it with my fingernail. So, gosh, I'm kind of pumped. I mean, it really doesn't look as near as bad as I thought on the outside. That really makes me feel better for what's on the inside. Here's the horror. Look at that. I left it dirty just so you guys can see how bad it is. But the good news is it really isn't as bad as I thought as far as how far forward this goes. This is where, and this is just basically dry rot. There's no really wetness in here. There's no water. There's no nothing. It was all dry rot. But as you get further forward, this is nice and solid. It can use a layer of fiberglass over it. We probably will go up about this far anyway and replace the deck that far up. But as far as going any further forward, I don't think that's going to be necessary. Now, I've said that before, so we'll see. But the console's going to come out. I opened up the console and was kind of hoping to find a couple $1,000s in cash, but no such luck. The upholstery, I'm just going to farm out. I don't think we're going to try to do that. Now, these small upholstery stuff like this, yes, I will do myself. The teak wood, I'll do, all that kind of the good thing. But this right here, the seats, I'm just going to find somebody here in town that can do it. I'll figure $1,500 or so, probably cover it because it's just the 2 bucket seats and the rear seat, and that's it. The rest of the stuff I can make here. Just got to make sure we keep the vinyl nice and matching, that you don't have you know, conflicting vinyl colors between the whole interior. So, but let me see, what else is there? The rear of the boat, really, the whole entire back half is going to have to be redone, and I totally knew that, so I'm not really worried about it. You got 2 big chunks on either side of this boat. They're actually big foam blocks. Those are going to come out. I'm really trying to come up with an idea, like in my Glastron. Instead of using, see, in the Glastrons, they don't put any foam under the floor. They put a couple of like styrofoam blocks here, but they don't foam the underneath the floor at all. They actually come back here and put two big foam blocks by the engine. What I try to do is I try to shrink those little bits. Therefore, you get more usable workroom around the engine. So that way you're not, you know, killing yourself trying to change the spark plugs, oil filter, etc., etc. So, but these have 2 pads that go over here that use this right here as your support. I'll be so glad when I get inside the garage and all these cars can stop driving by. We have a nice quiet place to videotape. But anyway, so I'm trying to come up with an idea that we can actually shorten these things or make them smaller, still get the same flotation, because I'm actually going to go underneath the floor also, or the deck, as well as back here, but we can minimize the size of these back here. And here's the other thing, I'd love to do a through-hole exhaust. This is a hot rod boat, but there's not a lot of room for it. I've seen some places on different forums where it comes down and then goes out low in the transom. And I've also seen them where they go out right here. And I've also seen where they come out underneath here by the outdrive. So I'll let you guys kind of fill me in what you think we ought to do. But I'd really like to eliminate the Y pipe and just do a straight through hole exhaust, just be obnoxious with it, because this is a hot rod boat. But anyway, I think that my son and I are going to get in here with a broom and a shop vac and clean out all these leaves and all this dirt, and just kind of see where in the dickens we are and what we need to start with next. So I'll talk to you soon. Well, after about 2 hours of cleaning and vacuuming and everything like that, I think we've kind of got a place to start. You can see there's a big hole in the deck. Yep, that's where the rot is, and it feels, like I said, it looks like it stops right about there, but I think we'll probably come up a little further just to make sure, get rid of all the decking material, make it look and feel 100% strong. But I just drilled a couple holes in the stringers, and I came out with pretty good wood. So it could be in different spots, it could be in bad shape. We don't know yet. But preliminary is very good, as this is a complete back half job. I know that the back of this is totally rotten, as you can see right there. It's gone. But I got all the old oil and muck out of here. Just cleaned it up really good, as best as I could, just with a vacuum cleaner. That's all I did. Got all the leaves out of these little compartments. Just looking and kind of surveying. That's what you got to do. You got to start out and just kind of give it a good survey. Figure out what in the world you're dealing with. Also, we got the windshield to deal with. You see right over there, the windshield is cracked, and it's very crazed and kind of wore out. You can see right here. So we can probably flow some epoxy in that crack and stop it from going any further, but I think I'm gonna need to source a new windshield. And I think I've seen a few of these on classicglasstron.com. There's been a couple places that repop them, but they don't have an 86 in their catalog. So I'm gonna call them tomorrow and kind of see what's going on and see if they can do it, or maybe another year will fit it. I sure hope so, because I'd be willing to buy a new windshield and just have it all done nice and neat. Especially now that we've got that nice, pretty shiny spot. That just tells me that we're not gonna have to gel coat this boat. We'll be able to give it a good polishing. You know, of course, it's got a couple of nicks here and there, but you know what? Now you know it's original. It hasn't been painted, it's gel coat. That's what you want to do. I mean, I'm not a big fan of painting a boat just because it never stays that way, and the clear coat never stays on either. So hopefully we can just do that right there and polish the whole thing. Can you believe how well that, I wet it down. You see there's kind of wet on that side, but that right there, let's see if I can get a good, there you go. See that tree in the reflection there? Really awesome. I mean, I really cannot believe how shiny that is. Look at that. That is not water right there. So I'm pretty happy with that. That leaves us more for the budget for other stuff. How about that, guys? Well, anyway, I think this is done for this weekend. I'm gonna go put her up and get the garage ready and start building a cradle, I would think, fairly soon. What I want to try to do, actually, let me go inside. It's kind of cold outside. We'll recap here in a second. But that's it. This is the last you'll see her out here. Hopefully we'll be putting her in the garage, not have to work on the side of the house or in the back of the house. We'll have a nice quiet spot to restore this boat. So, see you in a few. All right, so now we're kind of in out of the cold, and now we're kind of go over some plans that I have, you know, kind of working around in my little brain here. First of all, I was kind of talking about the cradle on the boat. If you remember back to the Glasstron transom job and restoration, I built two separate cradles on, basically I took wood and spanned it between two car cradles. Basically put them all in you put the tires of the car in these things, you can move them around, and basically I put all the wood in between them and created a nice little holding device. Well, I'm gonna do something a little different this time, and the big reason is I needed to be able to go out of the garage. I don't want to grind inside the garage and ruin everything, get grinding dust all over the place. So whenever it comes time to grind on this thing, I want to be able to roll it outside, do all the work, and then pull it back in. Well, the problem with that is that my driveway, when it comes out of the garage, does this number. And with that boat, it's just going to go straight down the hill. And plus, the little casters on those car dollies were too small. They're not going to be able to make it over the lip. They're small and plastic. So I think I'm going to go to Northern Tool or Harbor Freight, one of the two, and get some larger, like solid rubber casters. They'll probably be more expensive, but at least they'll be able to handle what I need to do, and I can roll it in and out. But the key is how do we attach it to the back wall with a winch or something like that where we can get it back out. My wife had a really good idea of building kind of a V in the front with a trailer hitch, and we can just pull it in and out with the truck. But that's just a lot more stuff I got to build, and it's a whole lot more lumber. I'm just trying to think of something easy we can do with some type of come along or a winch or a pulley system to be able to get it past there, get it out, put some chocks underneath the tires, and then be able to do the grinding, whatever stuff that I need to do that's messy, and then get it back in into the garage. And on top of that, it'd be nice to be able to spin it around so I can put the stern down so we can wash any of the grinding dust out and so on and so forth. So I'm trying to figure that out. So if anybody has any good ideas, please definitely leave some comments. Let me know kind of what you think, because I'm just kind of at an impasse on this. I don't want this thing to roll down into my neighbor's garage, but I want to make it as, not spend an absolute fortune trying to build some motorized cradle. But anyway, so the next stage is for us to get the garage cleaned out, and it's not really that bad. It's going to make some room. I've got a ping pong table I gotta get rid of, and just kind of get everything organized, ready to do another restoration, and then get the thing off the cradle. We're coming up on Thanksgiving right now, so hopefully, and I'm gonna have a nice light week. We've been just so busy at work the past 5 or 6 months. I really haven't had any time much at all. But you know, this Thanksgiving we'll be able to get things going and then work on this thing on weekends. I'm gonna try to schedule at least one day a week that I can actually you know, apply to this boat. And like I said, it's a lot smaller than the Sea Ray, a lot smaller than the Sea Ray. So it's gonna be a lot easier to work on. You know, there's just not, it's not just a mammoth task of a enormous boat. I mean, the stringers in this Glastron are only about 6, 7, 8 inches tall at the very most. And from what I've found, we may not be doing a whole lot of them, and maybe go, you know, half the boat up and then scarf them in and go from there. So we'll see once we get it all taken apart. But for right now, this is kind of where we are. The first, you know, day of having it back, kind of cleaned it up, kind of looked at it. I'm happy about the gel coat being polished out. I can't tell you how happy I am about that. Just keep it all original. And then we just got to start plugging along. Wood, fiberglass, parts, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna buy as much as I can from iboats.com. I found that their pricing has been very, very good lately. Be able to buy as much as I can. I'm gonna need manifolds, alternator, you know, you name it, for this engine. Of course, I'm still gonna get the engine from my local place, City Motor Supply. They seem to have the best deals on engines, and it's just gonna be a rebuilt 350 with a hot cam. You know, pretty simple, and then we'll put it all back together, and then I've still got to find somebody to do my the upholstery, because the upholstery shop that I used is gone. They went out of business. I was driving down the other day through the little town where they work, and it's gone. I was going to get a price quote to have something else done, so I got to find somebody else. There's one other upholstery shop here in town, but they're kind of ridiculously expensive. I know it's, you know, you kind of get what you pay for, but you find somebody who's a small mom and pop operation instead of a bigger operation, you usually get a pretty good deal and a pretty good quality. So I'll have to kind of shop around with that. It's not a pressing need right now. So anyway, I think we'll just call it a day call it a weekend actually. And then I'll get back on it here as soon as possible. You guys make sure you go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Frisco Boater. Check out my blog, which is on friscoboater.com. You know, leave comments, please ask questions. I'm going to do my best absolutely to answer everybody's questions and keep up with it. But then again, I got to get busy and build this boat so it can get done and somebody can start enjoying it. So guys, thanks again. We've got a great project on our hands, and we're going to have a good winter, and I have lots of videos, pictures, and hopefully learn some new stuff together. New boat. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.